to this week's edition of Engineering and You, a program meant to stir up the interest of young people in science, engineering, technology, and mathematics. My name is Tunolaniro. This program is sponsored by Prince Engineer MC Shillon, FNSC, and supported by the Nigerian Institute of Engineers at Abeokuta branch. On this week's edition, we continue with our inter-school debate competition, where a winner is meant to emerge among all the schools competing. Now, I'm not here alone. I have no say on this matter. The verdict comes from our judges, and they are ready to give us the verdict. But until then, let us know who they are. Who are the judges? Over to you.
Good day, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here again today. My name is Engineer Felulu Alugbebi, MLS MNIE. Thank you for having me.
And good day to our viewers at home. My name is Engineer Luciano Bamdele Agbaji, a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers and a member of the Nigerian Institute of Engineers. Thank you so much. So I will do a rundown of how you will be graded. So we have a total marks of 100%. So for technical content, that's going to go for 40%. For your rebuter, you will have 20%. And for the use of English, which comprises of the tenses, grammar, the dressing, and the composure, we carry 40%, all summed up as 100%. Thank you. Best of luck.
All right. That is the summary of how the grading will go on this edition. And we'll take this very short break. When we return, the competing schools will be on set with me. Please don't go anywhere. It's nice to know that you are still there. The program is still Engineering and You. And on set with me are two schools, Taidob College, Ashero, Abeokuta, and Abeokuta Girls Grammar School. And they are going to be debating on a topic that is titled, Is Investment in STEM Education Proper Way to Reduce Unemployment in Nigeria? Now, this is their own assignment. My own assignment now is to step aside and allow them debate. Don't go anywhere. Debate starts now.
While STEM education is widely regarded as a proper way to decrease unemployment in Nigeria. The Nigeria's unemployment is not caused by the lack of STEM education or the lack of available jobs. Before I dive into my point, I would like to give honor to whom it is due, and I'll do this by saying, good day the moderator, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, and my ever-listening audience. The person also standing before you today is no other person than Ambassador Edwin Success. And I stand here to do no other thing than support the motion. Is investment in STEM education a yet not properly employed way to reduce unemployment in Nigeria? Let me begin with the fundamental truth. Unemployment in Nigeria is mainly an economical problem, not an educational problem. The fundamental cause of unemployment is not the lack of STEM graduates, but the lack of available jobs. Every year, thousands of graduates from various disciplines, including engineering, computer science, and other STEM fields, enter into the labor market, yet many remain unemployed because the economy is not generating enough opportunities. Thomas Edison once said, and I quote, "Vision without execution is hallucination. A nation will produce millions of skilled workers, but if industries are not expanding and businesses are not hiring, unemployment will persist." The real issues include poor economic growth, low private sector investment, and unstable business environment. Secondly, Nigeria already has many unemployed STEM graduates. If STEM education were the key solution to unemployment in Nigeria, we would expect STEM graduates to have little or no difficulty finding jobs. However, this is not the reality in Nigeria. Thousands of graduates from engineering, computer science, physics, chemistry, biology, and geology remain unemployed or underemployed. Many engineers work outside their fields, while others resort to occupations that do not require their qualifications. This clearly demonstrates that unemployment is not caused by the lack of STEM graduates, but but by the inability of the economy to absorb skilled workers. Unemployment in Nigeria is mainly caused because the economy is not generating enough opportunities. Tell them more, overemphasizing on STEM education may lead to neglect of other fields. Nigeria's economy is diverse and requires contribution from other fields like agriculture, law, commerce, arts, and humanities. For instance, the entertainment industry has granted employment to people like actors, musicians, and many others. Similarly, agriculture remains the largest employer of labor in Nigeria. This is because we Nigerians are not focusing their employment on STEM alone. Because if Nigeria does that, it's going to be like the other sectors in Nigeria cannot tackle unemployment. Thank you.
An idle mind is the devil's workshop, but an educated mind is the nation's engine. Nigeria is not poor in talent, Nigeria is poor in opportunity. Every year, millions of young Nigerians graduate with dreams in their hearts but unemployment letters in their hand. The question before today is simple. Can STEM education actually reduce unemployment in Nigeria? The answer is not merely a yes, it's a resounding, fact-driven, and evidence-based yes. A child with science in his hand can be the future for his land. A girl who learns technology today can create jobs along the way. Equip the youth with skills to grow and watch unemployment bow low. Mr. Chairman, let me tell my argument. Also, that on the fact that STEM education gives practical examples. Every year, millions of Nigerians graduate and educated while unemployable. Why? That's because our educational system teaches students what to think, not how to think. How comes of unemployment with certificates that cannot solve real-world problems? STEM education trains innovators, investors, engineers, and problem solvers. Companies like Taidob and Mandela have employed thousands of Africans through STEM and innovation. Furthermore, nations rise through STEM. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the greatest weapon which can use to change the world. Countries like South Korea and Singapore have transformed themselves through STEM. If other nations can transform themselves from poverty to prosperity through STEM, why can't Nigeria do the same? Why must we remain behind? My opponent said something about STEM being limited to diverse fields, but may I remind you of Taidob College, who made gas detectors, which are in catering and confectionery. These gas detectors can be used to prevent accidents by detecting gas leakages in the kitchen. Thank you.
All protocols duly observed. The personality standing before you is about Jimmy Abibat, a bona fide student of Abeokuta Girls Grammar School Senior, and I am here to buttress my chief speaker's point. Poor implementation of STEM programs. Nigeria's STEM sector faces great challenges such as inadequate laboratories, insufficient funding, low investment in productive sectors, and weak economic diversification. These issues have greatly injured the effectiveness of STEM investors in producing employable Nigerian STEM graduates. Lack of adequate jobs to absorb STEM graduates. Nigeria's unemployment crisis is not only educational but also economic. Even when graduates possess STEM qualifications, the economy does not generate enough quality jobs to absorb them. The limited industrial base and weak manufacturing sector has greatly reduced employment opportunities for Nigerian graduates. My opponents argue that unemployment in Nigeria can be reduced through STEM investment because of STEM graduates possess valuable technical skills. However, this argument overlooks Nigeria's current reality. Having qualification and skills does not necessarily guarantee employment. Unless the government properly address the reasons why Nigerian unemployment keeps reoccurring, the unemployment issue in Nigeria will not drastically reduce. Structural causes of unemployment remains unaddressed. Nigeria's unemployment crisis is driven by broader issues such as low investment in productive sectors, economic diversification, and unless these issues are properly addressed by the government. In conclusion, Nigeria's unemployment crisis is not only educational but also economic. Unless these issues are properly addressed by the government and non-governmental organizations, Nigeria's unemployment problem will keep recurring and would not significantly be reduced. Thank you.
Well, I can't consider giving honor to whom honor is due. So I say a very good day to Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my eloquent debaters, and my very attentive audience. Personality before is none other than I, Shikemi Tessimona Kingbadi, European Ambassador of Taidob College. Today, I stand on shaking to vehemently oppose the motion. Is investment in STEM education the yet not properly employed way to use unemployment in Nigeria? I hand over to my supporting speaker.
We live in a world run on science, technology, and engineering. The world is going digital, and Nigeria must go along with digital involvement. There's a popular adage that says, work is solution to poverty, which means without work, without employment, without still means put food on the table, Nigeria may not survive. Pardon my manners. Standing on LXZ protocol, the personality standing for Adebola Adewale, a proud ambassador on the bona fide student of Taidob College, here to proudly oppose the motion which says investment in STEM education is the yet not properly employed way to use unemployment in Nigeria. Firstly, what is STEM? STEM, as we all know, means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's what keeps and builds the infrastructure, energy system, medicine, and software that keeps society functioning. STEM provides our economic basic necessity. The fastest growing, highest paying jobs globally are in technology, sciences, and engineering. STEM will give such an opportunity so that Nigeria will never regret its decision in years to come. Countries that have invested greatly in STEM, like China and South Korea, are able to produce more patent startups and be able to produce competitive industries. Also, STEM gives individuals the mindset of problem solving and focus. STEM trains students to think analytically, set hypotheses, and build solutions. Countries that have invested in STEM have felt great impact, and they have not regretted their decisions. Nigeria is the large producer of crude oil, but the problem we have is we have no capable refineries. STEM is not only for the individuals, it's for the government, because STEM can help us in this area. STEM can give government the mindset of where and how to build these refineries, and it's to help us in the importation and exportation of this crude oil. STEM will help us in the cost of buying products that are being made from crude oil is extracted right here in Nigeria. Also, STEM also in job creation in high growth sectors. Take a like Money Point and PalmPay, they are all the outcomes of STEM. Even the mobile phones we use nowadays are all the outcomes of STEM. So why are we debating more on this issue? STEM inspires creativity and curiosity. These creative and creative minds can all be used to cure disease and create the next big thing. My opponents argue that STEM is not mainly used in more industries, but may I remind you that we are still lacking on the issue of crude oil. Please, what will you want to do in this industry? STEM helps in job creation. If these industries can be created right here in Nigeria, then those individuals that run around undergraduates can be able to have jobs. Mining is there, construction is there, we have refineries right here, but we are not using it. Please, let's consider the action. Thank you.
My opponent once argued that employment is guaranteed through STEM education. I therefore urge you today that employment is not guaranteed through STEM education. Countries that successfully use STEM do not focus on education alone. They combine governance, infrastructure, and effective institutions. Unfortunately, Nigerian institutions still remains underdeveloped, but STEM does not guarantee employment. Lack of industries limits employment opportunities. Today, industries in Nigeria have either relocated or moved to neighboring countries because there are high production costs and poor infrastructure and poor transportation infrastructure. Why? Because of factories in Nigeria, they are not generating enough income for them. Factories have either reduced operations or closed down automatically. Then how does STEM promote employment in this way? I urge the remaining for my supporting speaker to say.
In conclusion, investment in STEM education is a valuable asset when planning Nigeria's national development and innovation. However, investment in STEM education alone cannot significantly reduce unemployment in Nigeria. Thank you.
In addition, STEM creates job creators, not just job seekers. Teach a youth to code today and watch unemployment die along the way. STEM-trained individuals can build apps, build startups, design machines, improve healthcare, and solve agricultural problems. May I remind you of Aisha Bello, a graduate of Nigeria's massive 3 million technical talent FMTT initiative. She mastered data analytics through the help of the government-backed pipeline. By building a portfolio on GitHub, she successfully bypassed the local crowded job market, securing a role on fintech portfolio. In addendum, STEM equips the youth. Nigeria has one of the largest populations in Africa, and if properly trained, our youth can become innovators, not just unemployed dependents. Beyond unemployment statistics is a real human being. A father unable to feed his family, a graduate ashamed to return home after years in school, and a young girl whose dreams have been buried beneath poverty. STEM education gives hope where hopelessness was lived. Although my opponents may fear the future, but we on this side are preparing for it. The world is moving with technology. Nigeria cannot afford to be moved with excuses. When people debate problems, STEM-minded individuals are building solutions. Thank you.
That's awesome.
I told you it promises to be exciting, and exciting it was, but I will have to hand over to the judges for them to give us the verdict for today's episode. So over to the judges.
Thank you very much, sir. And it was indeed a wonderful and interesting debate. Is investment in STEM education the yet not properly employed way to reduce employment in Nigeria? Of course, STEM education is very necessary to help our education and Nigeria as a whole, and to improve employment. Of course, I as a person stand on something that today's job is not just based on what you studied in school. All right, it's based on techniques, it's based on value, it's based on intellect, and that can only be gotten through STEM, and of course through technical know-how. Today's jobs is not just based on the particular thing you studied in school, it's also based on what else you can do and what else you can give to the society. All right, so technical knowledge, technical and digital skills and other things can form a great part to enhance and help every to be employed person, every employee. Of course, there are still things that are affecting this, all right, and we know that as we go on in life, as this nation continues to develop, we'll be able to improve the employment rate in Nigeria. We may not be able to discuss more on this now, but the schools have done well, and we hope that this result will just show where we stand from the discussions. I'll hand over to Engineer Agbaje to give the results.
Okay, thank you so much, Engineer Iferelua. So, for the scoreline, Taidob College, technical content, they scored 31.5, while AGGS Grammar School scored 25. For the rebuter, Taidob College scored 15, while AGGS Grammar School scored 10.5. And for the use of English, Taidob College scored 35, while AGGS Grammar School scored 31. So the total marks scored by Taidob College today is 81.5%, and AGGS Grammar School scored 66.5%.
All right. With that being said, it means that Taidob College with 81.5% will advance to the next round and have been declared winner for today's round. Congratulations.
Congratulations. That is the ideal word to say, and I would like the two schools to please cross over and congratulate each other, because that's the appropriate thing to do, because on this program, like I always say, everyone is a winner. Congratulations to them, and Taidob College moves to the next round. And on this note, I'd like to draw the curtain on this week's edition of Engineering and You. Promises to be exciting next week, because the debate still continues. Thank you to our sponsor, Princeton Engineering Institution of FNSC, for what you do to bring us to the screen of everyone across the globe on this day and on this time. Until next week, my name is Tunde Olaniro. Bye-bye.